What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some more news concerning Lawrence Okolie. Get this. Lawrence Okolie eyes the heavyweight division and a future fight with Daniel Dubois. And Okolie is now the #1 in the WBC heavyweight rankings and positioning himself for a shot at the title if Usyk vacates. And this is what he said. He said, Dan's the type, Daniel Dubois, who needs to be locked in a dark room with scary music on fight day, not having a good time. From old sparring sessions to a possible future clash, Okolie versus Dubois could be on the horizon. And let me counterpunch. I think that's absolutely right. I think that Danny Dubois, if he was trained right, I think everything is a factor with Daniel. You know, Daniel's 6'4". If he was a little shorter, I could see Mike Tyson actually training him. You know, the way he throws punches, I think the power that he has. You know, I don't think that he's fast and nimble and mobile as Mike. You know, Mike was dynamic with his movement, but Mike was also a lot smaller than Daniel. Daniel's a big dude. Mike was 20, 30 pounds lighter than him, you know. But the way he fights, I think, you know, and the way he delivers punches, he could train like that. But the importance and why I mentioned Mike Tyson was trained by Cuss, you know, and then Cuss was trained Teddy Atlas to be a trainer, and Teddy Atlas was there for Mike Tyson, and Teddy Atlas is an intense trainer. Needless to say, that's what Spencer Faring recommended the trainer to be, Teddy Atlas. They are the type of trainers that they want to be around you more. And with the interview that Don Charles made on Talk Sports, which I've already counterpunched, so check it out if you haven't, he mentioned that he wasn't there at that party. And I questioned that. I'm like, well, why weren't you there at that party where you know your fighter was going to be? It shouldn't have been Stan. It should have been him. You know what I mean? Because he should have been aware of the possible dangers or the possible elements or influence or distractions that his fighter could possibly succumb to at a party. It wasn't a gathering, it was a party. Okay, because they were celebrating. That's a party, that's not a gathering, you know. A gathering is kind of a get-together where you're just hanging out. No, this was not that. And it just made me question Don's connection with Daniel, because it seems like, hey, I just work here. That's the mindset that I got from Don. Like, hey, I just work here. I just want to do my job. Well, guys like Teddy Atlas, you know, Mike Tyson, I think those guys, especially Customato, but he's no longer with us. I think those two guys that I mentioned, Mike and Teddy, I don't think that they're the type of people, you know, even Abel Sanchez, they're not going to especially fight the day of the fight, they're not going to be without their fighter. Most of the time, they're in a hotel somewhere, alone or away from those type of elements and distractions of family, you know, issues and all that stuff, and friends and entourage and all that shit. They come later at the fight at the arena, you know, not that day of that fight. That day of that fight is meditation, it's focus, it's nervousness, it's thoughts, it's, you know what I mean? It's that last minute prep. And I think if someone like Teddy Atlas, I'd be damned he wouldn't be at the Wembley Stadium and his fighter's way across town somewhere else in some mansion, hanging out and celebrating at a damn party. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that he does need someone that's going to be closer to him. But saying all that in regards to Lawrence Okolie, you know, wants that opportunity, you know, and I think if Lawrence, you know, if Usyk gives up the belt, I think he should really be more interested in fighting Cabello, especially if he's #1, because Cabello is the interim champion. So he should be wanting to take that fight with get Caballero if he can deal with that, because that's going to be the fight he should worry about, not Daniel Dubois. And see, to me, everyone wants to jump on that particular fight now with Daniel. I don't think it's time to be fucking with Daniel. Leave Daniel be right now. Daniel just got his ass whooped, and we really haven't heard anything from him. We've heard a message that probably somebody typed up. I don't think it was necessarily from him. So there you go. So as far as we know, we haven't heard anything from Daniel. He's alone being with whoever he's with. So, that's that. You know what I mean? So calling him out for a fight where he just got his ass whooped, I think that's quite cruel. You know what I mean? That's not cool. But you guys tell me what you think of Lawrence Okolie calling out Daniel Dubois for a possible fight next. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.